If you think that scribbling down your will on a napkin is going to save money and be just as effective as any other will, I want you to stop and watch today's video. I'm Darcel Lobo. I own Dow Law Firm. I've been an estate planning attorney for over 16 years now, and let's talk about handwritten wills. Now, here in Washington state, a handwritten will is also referred to as a holographic will. Those two terms mean the same thing. A holographic will is just one that's handwritten. So we're going to call it a handwritten will for today's video, just to simplify it and to not be confusing. So for a handwritten will, they are permitted in Washington state, but there are a few caveats to being able to do so. The handwritten will must be in writing and must be signed by the person making the will, and it must be witnessed by two people who are competent and disinterested. And what does that mean when I say disinterested? Your spouse cannot be a witness. Your child cannot be a witness. It cannot be anyone who is named in the will. That person should not be one of the witnesses for your will, and the witness actually needs to watch you sign it in live time. You can't sign it and have the witness sign it 2 days later. Like, they have to actually watch you sign it when you signed it. So there are formal requirements to being able to do a handwritten will. And if you've done a handwritten will and it's not witnessed properly, it is not going to be valid in Washington state. So for the will to be valid, it can be handwritten, it needs to be signed properly, and have two witnesses. That would presumably be valid. There's more to it than that, but for simplicity for today, that's generally what you need. If it's handwritten but there aren't two witnesses, it's not going to be valid. And also, when the witnesses sign, there's certain language that needs to be included for it to be what we call a self-proving will. And without getting into too many details, it's just going to make the process a lot easier for whoever is administering your estate to have a self-proving will, or else they may have to find themselves tracking down those witnesses who watched you sign after you've passed. And if this has been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, trying to find those witnesses can be difficult sometimes. And so we want to have a self-proving will to avoid that need after you've passed. So some common pitfalls with a handwritten will is that they can be kind of vague. Like, it's not quite clear on what the person meant when drafting the will, what exactly the intention was. That could be a big one, a big issue that we see with handwritten wills. It's just not knowing what they don't know, right? And trying to do something. They're trying to do the right thing by writing out their own will, but it can cause a lot of issues for the family or the heirs down the road, which is also going to lead to an expensive probate dispute. Probate disputes are not cheap at all. They are very, very expensive, which is why when we prepare wills, we do what we can as best we can to make it very clear, to make it straightforward. And then also, we include a no contest clause with our wills that says if anyone objects to the will, they're out, they get nothing. But aside from that, you don't want to cause confusion. The reason that you're creating a will is to provide clarity and a roadmap as far as what you want to have happen. So we want that to be clear. We don't want it to be confusing. If you have a will from out of state, as long as that will complies with that state's requirements, even if it's different than Washington, Washington will honor it. And so if you have a handwritten will, or you know someone who's done a handwritten will, it's probably worthwhile to have them consult with an estate planning attorney to talk about the will and to maybe make sure that they have one that's done correctly and that's drafted properly and signed properly and witnessed properly, just to avoid any kind of headaches and time delays and high expenses down the road. So you can give us a call at 206-408-8158. Thank you.